And the second thing I am going to ask you, this one is specifically for my mom, for my dad, for my siblings, and for my whole family. Please don't watch this video. It's time to get out. What's up, my shameless darlings? How are you doing? Welcome to another Tuesday of reflection. Yes, I know my voice is hoarse. I've been talking like this for about 2 weeks, which is about 4 videos now. Really, it's not that this is how sexy my voice is. The reality is that I've been partying a lot. This weekend we had a big trip, so I came back, well, with no voice. But that's okay, it doesn't matter. So a little hoarse and so on, well, this is going to sound more sensual. Because today, my shameless darlings, today is the day I'm going to tell you, and many more, how was my first time with a woman and how was my first time with a man. Again, as always, before I start this video, I invite you mom, I invite you sister, I invite you dad, I invite you brother, and all my relatives not to watch this video, please, because obviously I'm going to talk about sexual stuff and you may feel slightly uncomfortable. There, the warning is given. So now, my dear shameless lovers, today with this sensual mood that my voice gives me, I'm going to start telling you how was my first time with a girl and how was my first time with a man. Okay, first, let's see, where do I start? Let's start according to time. My first time with a man. It was very bad. I think I had already said it in another video, but it was anything but what you would expect your first time to be. I was about to turn 15. I was 15, that's not true. I was exactly 1 month away from turning 15. I had a boyfriend with whom I was quite in love. He was like this perfect boy. A boy from home, he had a car, he was like very handsome. He was a little white guy, I remember him perfectly. He was very, very handsome for what I thought was handsome. We had a very nice relationship, we hung out, he was my first boyfriend. He went and asked my parents for permission to go out with me, which was like, oh, what a thrill. I was just coming out of middle school, I was about to enter high school and he was already in college. So for me, for all my friends, he was like, wow, the perfect boyfriend. So I remember perfect. I remember perfectly that I was very much in love with him, really, really, really in love. All my friends in middle school had already had their first time. Even many of them I had been like, well, a participant. I mean, no, not like Inca threesome, but I had helped them go to the hotel. I mean, very strange things that for my poor naive 15-year-old mind should not have happened. However, the world in which I found myself was very intense. I mean, it was like everyone had already done it and it was normal, and he had obviously already had relations with other girls, and that increased the pressure on me a lot. The point is that the day came. Obviously, we had already had some kind of rapprochement, right? But well, it hadn't gone beyond that. I hope my parents don't see this video because it's not right for them to see it. But well, one day at my grandfather's house, well, how bad is this? But well, it was a casual day like any other. And well, he came to my house, I invited him in, we were on the couch with no intention of any of this happening, I have to clarify. We were sitting and well, nothing, we started kissing, it went to more and more and more and more, and suddenly, this is very seriously, suddenly we got to the point where I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know how to stop it. So he was still like very like already, right? Then he started to take off my clothes and I was like, in my mind, 1,000 things were happening. I said, no, wait, no, I don't want to. I mean, yes, I was very turned on. Of course, I was very excited for it to happen, but I didn't think it was the way or the moment. Then I remember perfectly that I tried to stop him. I told him, no, wait, not yet. And he didn't understand me. Like for him, it was like, dude, whatever. He never realized that it was my first time. He didn't give a shit. He took off his clothes. He took off my clothes and it was pum man, right? And it was like, I still remember. I really do. I still remember very clearly the pain and how uncomfortable I felt. It was like, damn, dude, I'm telling you no, but I didn't know how to stop it either. Then it was all very fast. All of a sudden, it was over and it was like, damn. I mean, and he never had like the decency to ask me, are you okay? Do you feel bad? Did I upset you? Did I hurt you? Nothing. I mean, he literally took off and got dressed and was like, oh, well, I'll take you home. I'll take you to your parents, right? And I just liked that. I remember perfectly how embarrassed I felt, how uncomfortable I felt. Like shocked, very shocked, and I got in the car, we left, he left me with my parents, and I remember perfectly arriving, calling one of my best friends and telling her, hey, what's up, this just happened and it was horrible. I mean, horrible, I started crying, everything bad, right? I still remember it and I say, how stupid. I mean, why didn't I stop? I mean, why didn't I say no? Why didn't I tell him to stop? Why didn't I say, hey, it's my first time, at least give me a fucking loving kiss and tell me that you love me, right? I think it was actually in some part my fault, but today I understand, and now that it's like this whole rape thing, even when you're in a relationship, I'm almost Almost 100% sure that the moment I said no, he must have stopped, and he didn't stop. But I'm not telling you that this was a rape as such, right? I mean, I am not accusing him of anything. It was him and it was me and it was stupid, and well, my first time with that boy was horrible. After that, we talked about it and I told him, hey, you know what? Well, it was my first time. He was shocked and said, no, how do you think? He never believed me. He said, no, how do you think? That's impossible. It didn't seem that way. And I was like, I mean, dude, I may be very good at this, but man, I could really tell it was my first time. Anyway, it happened and we continued in this relationship because I was very much in love with him. He was supposed to be very much in love with me. And obviously we started having relations, of which I was never able to have even a little bit of what is called an orgasm. I didn't even know it this much, nothing. And then with time, that relationship obviously ended. I want to explain, right? It wasn't, let's see, the idea of being a lesbian or being with a woman didn't even cross my mind. Really. I was very, very much in my mood to be with a man, and above all, to be sexually with a man. After this happened with him and I didn't feel anything, really nothing. Well, maybe it was because there was no connection. I don't know. It was all wrong, right? I had other relationships. I had other guys. I was with other men and it was the same. No matter how much love there was at the moment that he was in, I was like, God of my life, what am I doing to deserve this? Everything was very bad. Anyway, years went by and in this right? I end up with him, I enter high school and I meet a girl with whom I fall in love and I go crazy, and it's my first homosexual relationship, right? I always say it, my lesbianism was so latent that when this girl told me, hey, do you like girls? I didn't even know. And I, of course, no, yes, I love them. No, wow, women and I are one and the same. Dude, I had never had anything with a girl. I didn't even pass by here. But I think my need to come out of the same closet I had been in was so great that when she told me let's go out, I didn't think twice, did I? But everything with her was very nice, really. It was very, very nice. She was a great person. I liked her a lot. I was very much in love with her. And here comes my first failed time with a girl. Everything was going very well. We had been going out for a while and we were kissing and everything. And well, we were trying to make out. And obviously we were both homegirls. Neither of us had ever come out of the closet at home. Well, for me, it was the first time. So obviously many more times passed until I came out of the closet. And well, we didn't have the time, the place. It wasn't even happening, But that moment came, didn't it? At some point we were alone, and at some point the kisses went to more. But every time she tried to make something else happen, maybe she doesn't even know this. I'm sorry, baby. Now I'm going to tell you the truth of why it didn't happen back then. I remember very well that we were at her house and like it was going to happen. The normal thing is, well, what happens? You take off your shirt, right? So you start like, well, yeah, well, we all know what it is like. The point is that as much as I wanted it to happen, my mind and my brain wouldn't let it happen. I was super turned on. I was super comfortable. I was very much in love. But the moment she saw me naked, for me, that couldn't happen. I don't know how to explain it to this day, but I had so much the issue that two women should not be together, really. That I couldn't have relations with girls, specifically with her, right? That obviously it hadn't happened with anybody else. And I remember perfectly, look, because the girl was active from a very young age. Well, yes, I would take off her shirt, I would touch her and else, but she couldn't touch me. No more than what I let happen or what I felt comfortable with. After a long time, well, obviously we broke up and it never happened. It never happened, really. And she was one of my great loves and I love her very much, and to this day I'm very fond of her. But I don't know what the hell happened, but in my head, see how strong are like these deep-rooted ideas that we have from our parents, from our upbringing and 1,000 things. As much as I had a relationship with her, for me the right thing to do was to be with a man, even though with a man sexually I didn't feel comfortable. That time was crazy for me because I couldn't find myself. That is, I couldn't feel good with her nor with men because I was still dating men. So my head was a mess. It was literally a mess. It had to happen literally like, let's see, if I was 15 at the time, I was probably turning 16 when I started going out with her. It took almost 2 or 3 more years until I went to live in Morelia, until I was in college. I turned almost, I don't remember if it was 18 or 19, but it was 2 or 3 years later that I met the second girl I went out with whom I had a long and beautiful relationship, and it was like the first love with whom I came out of the closet a bit. I started to live more in the LGBT environment in Morelia, and it was really like an eye-opener. But then came the same moment and the same situation. Well, if we were already very serious, I lived alone, she lived alone, why didn't we take that next step? I remember the night very well. Well, I don't think it was even night, it was daytime because it was students. And I remember perfectly what happened, that it started. And what a shame, seriously, what things I always tell on YouTube, but I think it's important that you listen. I remember perfectly what was happening, and I remember that I took off her clothes and said, girl, I mean, you can't play dumb anymore. You have to do it. I didn't manage to take off my shirt because my idea was, in my head was that it was, I don't know what was going through my head, but for me it was like her boobs and mine together. What? I didn't see this in any sex education book in elementary school. I had never seen porn of women, never. I had no idea how it was done or what happened or what it felt like, Oh my God, now that I think about it, how stupid. If I had known that boobs were the best thing in the world, dude, since years ago, since the beginning, daughter. But I remember very well that I panicked, really, really, really panicked. And at the moment when I said, no, wait, it wasn't me, she actually grabbed me, that's right. She grabbed me and said, let's calm down, It's not going to happen beyond what you don't want to happen. Exactly. We had already separated. It was already like, okay, it's not going to happen. I turned over to my side of the bed. And suddenly she told me like this, she hugged me, right? It was really nice. She hugged me and told me, nothing is going to happen beyond what you don't want to happen. And it doesn't matter because that's how I love you, right? Or I love you. Maybe she had already told me I love you. So at that point it was like, wow. I hugged myself. It happened. And not only did it happen, but for the first time in my entire sex life, I knew what an orgasm was. And it was like, Really, the moment I took out of my head all the taboos and all the bullshit that I had on me, and I was able to free myself, and I was able to say, I have to enjoy, I can enjoy it with her. Everything automatically changed. Why do I think it is important to make this video? One, because the topic of sexuality has to be a topic that is already out of the question. That is, one that no longer has any taboo. Obviously, I have respect for my parents. I don't want to know about their sex life, and I don't think they want to know about mine. That's one thing. But the most important thing is that we no longer have this taboo and this panic about talking about our sex life or our sexual desires. Many times, many women and many men, for fear of not failing their partner or for fear of what they will say, they don't say what really turns them on, what they like in bed or what they don't like. You have so much nonsense in your head, so many thoughts ingrained in there that even at that point they can get you scrubbed. This is something that seems to me to be extremely important. Let's downplay the importance of sexuality. If a woman is sexually active, it doesn't matter. But you have to be careful, don't you? Obviously contraceptives, obviously checkups with the gynecologist, obviously using condoms to take care of a disease because nobody wants to get an STD. Part of this channel is also to talk to them about being able to have a healthy sexuality. And having a healthy sexuality is also being able to talk about it and being able to accept and say, I like this and I don't like this. That's the first reason why I decided to do and tell you about my first time. But I also think that if any of you are going through the same thing, if you feel the same way, you should understand that you are not the only one, that in this world in which we live, we have too many things ingrained in us. There are certain taboos that accompany us throughout our life, and sometimes we are not even aware of them, even though we are living them. So if it's happening to you, look, relax, it's okay. It's okay to live your sexuality, to understand what is happening to you, to discover it with a person who loves and respects you and who has that importance for you. I have always said that. Some people write to me like, hey, do you think it's the right thing for me to do with her or with him, or I don't know. I think that the most important thing, when you start your sexual activity with a man or with a woman, the most important thing is that that person is important to you. But I want to clarify that this is not the reason why I am homosexual. I swear to you on my life that I gave a lot of chances to men in that aspect, and I don't like it. I don't like it today. So don't go away. So straight guys out there, homophobes out there, don't come to me with your bullshit that just because I didn't meet a good man, I don't like men. I have met guys pretty good in bed, and even so, well, no. Sometimes we like the taste of lemon and sometimes we like the taste of papaya, right? What a dirty comment I just made. What a dirty comment. But well, that was all, my dear shameless ones. I wanted to talk to you about this so that you could know a little more about me, so that you could see that nothing is wrong. That's what one's sex life is all about. You have to keep it, of course, private because who cares, right? But well, that's all for today, my dear shameless and not so shameless ones. If you just joined this channel and you liked it, please subscribe, activate the little bell, and follow my social networks. And if you didn't like it, share it anyway. Maybe someone who follows you will like it anyway. Well, that's all for today. As always, I send you a whole bunch of kisses. See you next video, because believe me, you are going to like it. Now, without further ado, I am leaving. Be very, very bad. But take care of yourselves, my dear shameless ones. Bye! Mom? Everything I said is a lie. Don't believe it. This is just for the channel. I'm still a virgin until marriage.